Alright, in this video we're going to be looking at quadratic binomials and trinomials. In our last video we talked about expressions and equations, the different types of expressions and different types of equations. How that we have the linear equation and expression. How that we have the quadratic equation and the quadratic expressions. So how that we have cubic equations and cubic expressions, as the case may be. So in order for us to really understand the topic, don't forget the series is quadratic, that is equations and expressions in quadratic, how to solve all of these. But in order for us to be able to understand a lot of things, we need to know certain depths, and that's the reason I'm making this video. So we are going to be looking at quadratic binomials and trinomials. Don't forget, we have been able to establish in our last video that quadratic expressions are algebraic expressions whose highest power of variable is 2. That is 3x squared plus 4x plus 5. So the highest power of the variable s here is 2, as you can see. So it means it is a quadratic expression. It's also an expression because it is not having an equal sign. That is, it's not equal to any number or 0. So it means it is an expression. What type of expression this is? This is a quadratic expression. Why is it a quadratic expression? Because the highest power of x, which is the variable here, is 2. And that's the reason it is a quadratic expression. Now, when we say binomial, what do we mean by the term binomial? What do we mean by the term binomial? A binomial is an expression that have 2 terms. So a binomial is just an algebraic expression with 2 terms. What do I mean? Example is, let's say you have 3x plus 5. We know that this is a linear expression, but it is also binomial. Why? Because it is having 2 terms. What are the terms? 3x is a term, then 5 is another term. So the terms in this expression, we have 3x, that's one term like that. Then we have another term which is 5. So this expression is having 2 terms, and because of the fact that it is having 2 terms, it is called a binomial. So a binomial is an expression with 2 terms. So it could be a quadratic expression, it could be a linear expression, it could be a cubic expression. So far, that expression is having 2 terms. It means it is binomial in nature. Another example is when we have 5x raised to the power of 2 plus 3x. This is also having 2 terms. And what are the 2 terms? The first term is 5x, and the second term here is 5x squared rather, and the second term here is 3x. So these 2 terms make this expression a binomial one. So a binomial is an expression that have 2 terms, while a trinomial is an expression with 3 terms. So a trinomial is an expression with 3 terms. Example, when we have 5x squared plus 3x plus 5. So this is a trinomial. it could be x squared plus 5x plus 3. This is a trinomial. So a trinomial is an expression with what? With 3 terms. It could also be an equation, as the case may be. So far, the terms are 3. So it is a binomial, whether an equation or an expression. So in other words, it means if I have 3x squared plus 5x plus 3 equal to 0. This is an equation. What type of equation is this? This is a quadratic equation. And at the same time, it is a trinomial because it is having 3 terms. And the 3 terms are 3x, 3x squared, 5x, and what? And 3. So these are the 3 terms that make up this trinomial that I've written. And I can have a binomial in the form of quadratic equation too, which can be x squared minus 9 equal to 0. This is an equation and is a quadratic equation. Why is it a quadratic equation? Because the highest power of the variable is 2. But at the same time, it is a binomial. Why is it a binomial? Because it is having 2 terms. And what are the 2 terms? X squared as well as minus 9. So these are the 2 terms it is having. So if an expression or an equation is having 2 terms, it is called binomial. While if an expression or an equation is having 3 terms, as in this case, it is called a trinomial. So these are the differences between trinomial and binomial. It is really expedient, it's really important that we learn what trinomial is and what binomial is before we progress into our quadratic expression and equation respectively. So please anticipate for the next video, which I'm going to be talking more about quadratic and everything you need to know. We need to start taking them step by step, stage by stage. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Comment also. You are great.